Shabbat Shalom. Today I'm going to upload the video because I have a technically difficult of going live on the YouTube streaming. I am considering if it's going well, how I'm doing it now, to just upload the video and not going up live. So this week's parasha portion is, and we are starting with a new book, and it is Bemidbar, and it means Bemidbar is numbers. So the Torah portion for this week is Bemidbar, and it means in the wilderness. So the parasha portion for this week is Numbers 1 verse 1 to 6 verse 7, and Haftarah is Hosea 1 verse 10 to 22 verse 20. So I want to talk about the role of the Levites. What is the role of the Levites? We read in the entire Bible that the Levites had a lot to do. What was the job description for the Levites? Like we read in this week's parasha, like in Numbers 1 verse 47 to 51, if you can start it at the first of Numbers 1, it says that the Levites were not registered along with the other Israelites. So they were not registered along with the other Israelites. And also they were not included in the census with the other Israelites. So they were not included in the census, into the counting. But the Levites were put in charge of the tent and the equipment for the tent and everything else to do with the tent. So they were put in charge with the tent and the equipment in the tent. The Levites will carry the tent and its equipment. So just the Levites will carry the tent and its equipment. They will take care of the tent and camp around it. So they will take care of it and camp around it. So they must take the tent down and also set up. So when the Israelites is moving, or when the people are moving, they must break down the tent and move with it. And when they come to the next location, they must also set it up again and put everything into the tent again. Also we read in Numbers 2 verse 17, if you can go to 2 verse 17, when the tent of meeting is moved, the Levites will stay in the middle of the group. So the people will move, but they will stay in the middle of the group. The tribes will move out in the same order as they are in the camp, everyone in place under his own flag. We read in the entire Numbers and also in the entire Bibles what the role of the Levites is, what the job description is. One thing I can say is, I'm glad I wasn't a Levite in that time, because the Levites had a very difficult job and role also to do. Because when they just do something wrong, Elohim will go wrath and maybe destroy the Levites. They must be very, very holy. So my question to you is today, are you ready to be a Levite? Are you ready to be a priest or a high priest? Because when Yeshua has come to collect us, there will be a possibility that we are going to serve as priest or high priest. And also Yeshua HaMashiach is our high priest. I want to read the role of the Levites, and I have it here on my tablet. It's 9 points that I quickly want to read what the role of the Levites is. Number 1. The tribe of Levi was elevated to perform holy services in the tabernacle of the desert and in the temple. So they do work in the tabernacle of the desert, and they also work in the temple. Hence, it is affirmative command for all Levites to be available and prepared for temple service. As stated in the Torah, the Levites shall be for me, Numbers 8 verse 14, indicating that the special relationship with the tribe of Levi is permanent. The prophet Jeremiah relates God's promise that there will always be a Kohanim and Levites fit to serve. There will always be Kohanim and Levites fit to serve. As I will never renege on my covenant with day and night, so is my covenant with the Levites, the Kohanim, my servants. It's in Jeremiah 33 verse 21. Number 2. The choice of the tribe of Levi for the higher spiritual service was due to their ability to channel their strong character in the service of God. Levi, the son of Yaakov, was chastised for his anger by his father. Cursed in thy zealousness, for it is brazen, and thy wrath, for it is hard. I will separate them in Jacob and scatter them throughout Israel. Genesis 49, verse 6 to 7. 4 generations later, Moshe blessed the same tribe of Levi. Your righteous man, keeper of your word and covenant, he shall teach your judgment in Jacob and your Torah in Israel. Blessed of God is his valor, and his actions are pleasing. Deuteronomy 33 verse 8 to 11. The Levites were able to apply their physical and spiritual strength to the fulfillment of God's will and gain forever the role of God's trusted servants. Number 3. The name Levi is derived from the words he shall accompany. This name was given to the third son of Jacob and Leah, to indicate that he was to bring a strengthening of relationship between his parents, for now with 3 children, Jacob who needed to accompany his wife Leah. It was a natural development, therefore, that the task for the Levite became to accompany the divine presence and serve in the temple. His role as teacher and spiritual example is to lead and thereby accompany others back to their spiritual purpose. The Midrash relates that in the future Levites will lead the people of Israel back to their Father in heaven. I'm going to read it again. The Midrash relates that in the future Levites will lead the people of Israel back to their Father in heaven. Levi ben Yaakov, the father of the tribe of Levites, lived 137 years, the longest of all the sons of Yaakov. He had a particularly strong influence on the spiritual development of his progeny and lived to see his great-grandsons Moshe and Aaron. The tribe of Levi developed separately from the other tribes of Israel. During the period of the Egyptian bondage, the Levites avoided the slavery suffered by the others. By maintaining their separations in the land of Goshen, immersed in a sense of learning and maintaining the spiritual tradition of the fathers. Number 5. The loyal nature of the Levites was most clearly demonstrated at the episodes of the Golden Calf. The general population was influenced by the evil promptings of the mixed multitude. The Levites rode to the side of Moshe to avenge God's honor. They were rewarded with the spiritual service lost at that time by the firstborn of the other tribes. The Levites were tested and proved themselves able, thereby earning their elevated spiritual status. The Levites were constantly willing to risk their lives for God's service. So they risked their lives for God's service. They carried the sanctified vessels of the tabernacle, which, if mishandled, resulted in death. So the Levites had a very, very difficult job description and dangerous job to perform. Number 6. The independent nature of the Levite was balanced by his role of temple functionary. The Levites carried the tabernacle and vessels on his wanderings in the desert. Levites served as the honor guard, gatekeepers and musicians of the temple. They also assisted the Kohanim in preparing tithe offerings and in other aspects of the temple functioning. Number 7. The economics of the tribe of Levi were unique among the tribes of Israel. In contrast to the other tribes, Levites had no inherited portion in the land of Israel. 42 cities scattered throughout the portion of the other tribes were set aside as cities of Levites. In these cities, the Levites served as spiritual teachers of the people of Israel. These cities also served as shelters for those guilty of accidentally causing a person's death. Whereas the other tribes worked the land, the Levite was dependent on the tithes and food gifts of others. Levites were made to be economically dependent on others for their income. So they didn't receive income, they were economically dependent on others for an income. In exchange for his life service, the Levite received God's ordained sustenance through the required dying of the nation. There was a mitzvah upon the people of Israel not to abandon the Levite. Levites were exempt from the general military service. They were not counted in the census of the army in time of Moshe for the judge Deborah. Though relieved of the specific mitzvah of waging war, they are required to take part in the mitzvah of saving lives in times of direct threat. The service of the Levite is a service of the Spirit. Thus the tribe originally catechized for its warlike behavior became the tribe which exemplified peace, blessing and factual harmony. Yet the Levites throughout history were able to rise to the occasion to fight for values when necessary, as in the case of Hanukkah where they led the Jewish struggle against Greek influence. An interesting contrast to the general army exception of the tribe of Levite was the office of the Cohen, anointed for war. This Cohen, whose position was an honored one in the hierarchy of Kohanim, was appointed to inspire and spiritually prepare the army of Israel before battle. God's special relationship with the tribe of Levi is promised to last forever. No other family is allowed to form the temple service. Levites have been among the spiritual leaders of the nation from earliest time and continue to fulfill leadership roles until today. The true fulfillment of the soul of a son of the tribe of Levi is once again served God in the holy temple in Jerusalem. So that was just the 9 points of the row of the Levites, and if you go through, they really have a difficult work environment and a definitely work experience. Just one wrong move, and he will die. So, may you all have a Shavua Tov, and I hope that you have enjoyed this Torah portion of this week and my message that I bring out. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also hit that bell icon to be notified when I go live or when I uploaded a video to watch it. And please like my video also, and also go and follow my Facebook account Be God's Voice, and also my Instagram account Lauren Swart Venter. May you have a Shavua Tov, and if it is Elohim's will, I will see you next Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.